Hello everyone, welcome to the session on system simulation and modeling. Uh, uh, Today's session we are going to discuss what are all the advantages of simulation and what are all the disadvantages of simulation, and we are going to study various systems and what are all the components of those systems, and we are going to identify what are all the components for few system. Okay, so before that, in the last class we have discussed the simulation, what is simulation and why we need the simulation, and whether it is an appropriate tool or not, when it is not an appropriate tool. So those are all things we have learned in the previous session. So let us learn why this simulation is required. So what are the advantage of this simulation required? I have listed some of the advantages here. So first advantage, if you talk about, so definitely, so as we know that in a software development tool we have a software development life cycle. In that, so we have come up with a 5 to 6 process. In that, first stage is the requirement, next stage is analysis, and then we are going to design it, and then implementation, and then we are going for testing. So before going to implementation we have a design. In the design phase itself, if you are doing the simulation, you can study the system very well so that it will be helpful for the implementation, better implementation of the system. So that's why we need, one of the advantage of the simulation tool. Okay, that, so if you are using the simulation, so the number of runs will be more. That means that we need to go up to accuracy. So but if you are solving simple problem, by that time we are going to give any one input, and then based on that we are declaring that yes, it is working fine, right? So here, so but in the simulation, if you are doing the simulation, so here we are going to run more than once, so to get the accuracy and also in order to study the system. Okay, so that is the first point. And the second point is, so here the new policies, the operating procedures, decision rules, informations can be explored without committing the ongoing operation. So if you are performing any operation in the process while developing any projects or product, whatever it is, so here without touching those role operation, we can design a new rules, or we can have a operating procedures, and also we can obtain the new policies without touching the operations that are performed in the real time system. Okay, so the next one is new hardware design, physical layouts and transportation systems can be tested without committing any resources. As I discussed in the previous session, so the Tinkercad, so that is Tinkercad is used to test the hardware design of that particular chip. Okay, so in that, without committing any resources, we are going to check that whether it is working properly or not, so that resources won't be wasted. So here we can obtain the physical layouts also. Say for example, before going to go for the model construction of a building, we are going to get the blueprint and all, right? So that resources won't be wasted here. So that is the one of the advantage of this simulation. And also the hypothesis about how and why certain phenomenon can be tested for the feasibility. So here we can answer for the questions like how it is feasible, whether it is if it is feasible, then why it is necessary. Those are all phenomenons can be answered here. And also the next one is, it can be compressed and expanded based on the operations. That means that, as we know that whenever we are developing any software or any product, so we will be having the deadlines, right? So in that particular deadlines, can we complete that particular process? Those are all things can be answered using this simulation. How it can be done is, so when you get the visualization, so this is how, so using this you are going to study the entire system, right? So you will be knowing that if you are doing this, this is going to happen, everything you know. So if you know that, definitely so you can compress or expand the time, so that is in order to speed up and slow down the process of the system. Okay, so the next point, easy to understand the importance of that particular variable. So whether this variable is necessary or not, everything you will get to know. And also, so the interaction between the variables also you will get to know. The interaction between the variables in order to measure the performance of the system, so it is very useful as we are studying the entire system. Okay, and one more interesting thing here is we can understand how system operates rather than individual thing operates in the system. So that means that as we are studying the entire system, so here we are not thinking about only one part. So we are concentrating on each and everything of the system. So because of this reason, so many questions can be answered like what if, so what happens, so if we are considering this, as we know that simulation is the imitation or assumptions, it is based on what? Assumptions. So definitely if you are going for the assumptions, here we can answer these kind of questions, what if, and like this, so that it is very useful for designing the new systems. Okay, so if you want to build a new systems, it is very easy. So for this sake, so we can go for what? The simulation. Okay, so and here these are all the some of the advantages, but what about the disadvantages? Of course, this simulation have some constraint. What are all those constraints are? So the first very most constraint is training. See, whenever we are doing something, definitely we should be get trained, right? So in order to do that system, so he must be a system analyzer, right? So he must be a system assistant. So for that we required a extra training for doing that such kind of simulation, right? So it will be a so the number of people will be more, and we need to teach everyone, and we need to get the work done by all the people. So that is tedious job. That's why it is so one of the drawback of this simulation. And next one is difficult to interpret. Why? Because in order to do the simulation, only one system analyst can't do this. So n number of people will be working on the same project itself. So people may come up with different ideas. By that time what happens? But here we need to study what? The entire system. If someone is doing some part and someone is doing another part, so there may be chances of misinterpretation. So because of that reason, this is also considered as one of the drawback of this simulation. And next one is, it is very time consuming and very expensive one if your system is very complex. Okay, so definitely, so before going to implementation you need to wait for it, right? So until unless you get the result from the simulation, you can't go for the implementation of that particular problem. So it is time consuming process. So in order to do the simulation, we need to come up with what? Various inputs, huge amount of inputs we need to work with, but it is a time consuming process. So that, so we can't, so in this time, so it is it is not good to go with the simulation, and which is a very expensive one. Definitely if the complexity is more, definitely it will be very expensive one. These are the some of the drawbacks of system simulation. Okay, so the next, let us learn about the system. So till now we have discussed simulation and all. Now let us come to know what is that system is. How exactly the system works, what are all the components of system we have. Okay, let us discuss the system. So what do you mean by a system? System is a collection of or set of objects. So here join together to perform some specific task. So in order to accomplish some of the task, so how we are going to combine those objects to form a system. So it's a aggregation or assemblage of object joined in some regular fashion to accomplish some of the given task is nothing but a system. Say for example, you can have banking system, you can have a inventory system, you can have a communication system. So many examples are there. So if you consider the production system, by that time, so various departments, the number of orders, so those are all things belongs to the system. Okay, so if we talk about the system, so here we have a system which affects the outside the system. So that is called as a system environment. So system is going to be, or a state variables are going to be changed. So based on the external effect caused by the system. So that is called as a system environment. Okay, system environment. Say for example, the number of customer coming into the bank. Okay, so or they are going from the bank. So that is, so if you consider, if you have a queue in the bank, so the length of the queue is going to be varied. If new customer is arriving into the system, if there is a queue, then the number of customers waiting in the queue line will be increased. So therefore the state variable is going to be varied based on the external factor. Why? Because so before coming into the system, if you consider the banking system, if the customer is entering into the system, then he will belongs to that particular system. Otherwise he is out of the system. Therefore that external factor may affect your system. That is called as a system environment. Okay, so if you consider the banking system, there also we will be having so many lots of system environment changes. So because of that reason, your system state variables may changes. So in order to study this, we have a components of system. Okay, so what are all the components of system is? The components of various systems are, so here we have a entity. So next, so as we know that objects is nothing but an entity, right? So here entity, and then so each entity will be having its own attributes, right? And then so here, and also the attributes having some activity, sorry, each entity will perform some activity and event is going to be taken place, and then state of the system. State of the system. So let us learn one by one. So what you mean by entity? Entity is nothing but an object of interest. So that is, if you consider any production or a factory system, the departments or the products whatever we are developing, or else the number of orders coming into the system. So these are all some of the parts of that particular product. So these all are considered as an entity. So that is the group or the object of interest is called as an entity. So say for example, if you take the example of factory system, so the object, so that is the object of interest are what? So that is, it might be department, what type of department it is, okay, the number of orders, and then so we can have a products. So products, and then so if you have one more thing is the parts of that particular products, so etc. So these are some of the entities of the factory system. Okay, so likewise we can have n number of system, and we can identify the entities. Like if you take the banking system, so entities are nothing but the customers who are coming into the bank. Okay, so that is considered as an entity. So then what is an attribute? So attributes is nothing but it is going to explain the property of that particular entity, or else it denotes the property of the entity. So then what is that? So which describes the property of the entity means definitely the number of department, the number of orders which we are going to take place, the product type it might be, or part type it might be. So likewise, so you can consider this one as a property of entities, right? So entities, so it might be the number of departments, part type, or it might be number of orders coming into the system. So those all can be considered as an attributes. If you consider the banking system, what are all the sorry, what is the attribute? Definitely, so account balance, so account number, account holder name, those are all things can be considered as an attribute of that particular entity. If you consider as a in a banking system, if you are considering the entity as a customer, by that time what are all the attributes? So attributes will be the so attributes will be the name of the customer, the account information, the account number whatever we have, or account balance whatever we have, those are all considered as the attribute of that particular entity. The next one is the activity. So what do you mean by activity? So in general, activity is nothing but some process, right? So that process is going to change the system is called as an activity. Say for example, in the same banking example itself, so how the activity will be taken place? So the balance is going to be varied based on what? The activity. If I am going to do the withdrawal of that money, by that time balance will be low. So if I deposit the money, then balance will be high. So likewise, the entity, attribute and activity will dependent on each other. And next coming to this is event. So this is what? So activity is nothing but the process, okay, or the set of operations we can say. Okay, now what do you mean by an event? Instantaneous occurrence of a changes that is represent in the state of the system. So the system state is going to be varied in at particular point of time. Okay, so here the state of activity is what? So if you consider the banking system, what is the activity? Depositing, right? So at what, how can we deposit? The customer has to come into the bank. So now what are all those event is at what time that customer is arriving into the system such that the state of the system will get changed. Then what you mean by this state of the system is, the state of the system is nothing but which describes the information about the entity, attributes and activity of the system. So here the entity, attribute and activity whole together is called as an, to represent the system we are making using of entity, attribute and activity, that is called as an state of the system. So we are collectively call this one at some particular point of time. So we are going to consider these three items at some particular point of time, that is called as a state of the variable. The state of the variable is changes based on what? The event that is going to occur, that is the instantaneous process or instantaneous occurrences of that particular process that may change the system state. Okay, system state can be changed here. So that is called as an event. Okay, so let me come up with the first one. So that is, what is the system? It's a collection of objects. Okay, so in order to accomplish some task. So here next one is the the system environment. So what do you mean by system environment? The extra factor that affecting the extra factor that affects the system is called as an system environment. Already I have taken the example how system environment, because of system environment, how the state variable get changed and all. Okay. Next, we have discussed the component of the system. What are all the components of the system? Entity, attributes, activity, event and state of the system. Whenever we are going for simulation, you need to identify these things. Okay. So what is that? Entity means what? Object of interest, what we need to do, okay, what we need to simulate, on whom we need to simulate. So object of interest we need to. So if you consider any system, that is a banking system or a factory system, so the number of departments whatever we have, the products whatever we have, that, and then we have the order, so those are all considered as an attribute. Okay, so the next one, sorry, entities. Okay, and the next one is the attribute. So attribute defines what? It defines the property of the entity. That means that if you consider the order, so the number of orders, quantity, it is quantitative one. Okay, so it tells the properties of that particular entity, right? So here the number of orders, it might be the product type or it might be the number part type of the part and all, right? So next, if you come across the activity, the process, what kind of process we are going to do, so which change the state of the system. And then event, instantaneous occurrence that can change the state of the system at particular point of time. And then state of the system. State of the system is nothing but what? In order to achieve the entity, attribute and this activity, so collectively we can call that one as a state of the system. Okay, so here I have listed some of the systems. So let us discuss what are all the entities, what are all the attributes, what are the activities, events and the state of the given system. Okay, so let us try to write this. So first one is the banking system. So I can consider this one as the customer as an entity. If you consider the customer as an entity, what is the attribute of that customer? So customer attribute will be the name of that customer, account balance, sorry, account number, account balance, etc. These are all considered as an, so I have skipped the attribute column here. You can place that attribute column here, so that, so for the better understanding. Okay, so now, so I have a system called as a banking system. Here I have identified the entity, the customer, and which is having the attributes called name, account number and account balance. Okay, then what will be the activity of that particular customer? If you consider this account balance, so account balance is going to be either can be deposited or withdraw. So what will be the attributes? So sorry, activity will be deposit or withdraw. Withdrawal. Then what is the event? So if the deposit, if you want, the customer has to do the deposit or withdrawal, he has to come into the bank, right? Or he has, once he come, he has to go out from the bank. So that it is customer arrival and departure. So now what is the state of the system? So if the customer coming into the system, whether there is a queue or not, the number of customers that is present in the system is called the waiting line, is the state of the system. Waiting in the system. So this is about what? Banking system. Let us take the one more example, that is rapid rail. Okay, so if you consider the rapid rail, rider can be considered as in what? customer. If you consider the rider as a customer, definitely what will be the attributes, the origin, where is the destination, that is source and destination can be considered as an destination can be considered as in what? The attribute. Then what is the activity? What the activity will be performed here? That is nothing but traveling. From one end to another end, he need to travel, right? So that is the activity he is going to perform. The operation he is going to perform, right? So rider is going to do the traveling, that is the activity. If he want to do the traveling, that definitely arrival and departure should be taken place, right? So of that particular rider. And what will be the state of the variable? The number of riders waiting in the station will be the state of the system. So that is the number of riders waiting in the system. Okay. So these are the state of the system. Next, coming to the production one. So production system, if you consider any production system, so you can consider any machine as an entity. You can consider machine as an entity. Then what are all the attributes of this machine? Definitely what is the capacity of that machine, speed of the machine, and then rate of breakdown. So these are all things considered as in what? The attributes. What is that? Speed. So for this, for the attributes, you can have one more column, you can write it down, okay? Speed, and then capacity, and then we can consider the breakdown rate. Right? So breakdown rate. So therefore, what will be the activity of this machine? So what we are going to do with this machine? Welding and all, right? So welding and stamping, so whatever it is. So welding or stamping, etc. Okay, so that will be considered as an, so what actually the machine will do, based on that you can select it. Okay, and now what will be the event? So machine, if it is working in, if it is in a good condition, definitely it works good. Otherwise what happens? Is not working. That means that there may be a chances of breakdown. So that will be considered as an event. So that is breakdown. At some point of time, the system state may get changed. So system state, then what is the system state now? Machine has to be work or it should be idle. So only two state we have. So that is, so busy or idle. So this is based on what? The breakdown process. So if the breakdown happens, by that time what happens? It will be in the idle state. So if the breakdown does not happen, it will be in the busy state. It will be in the working condition. Okay, this is how we can identify the entities, attributes, activities, events and state of the system. The next one is the communication. So what does it mean, the communication? So communication channels. So here message can be considered as an entity. Then what are all the attributes? So what is the to, from, those all things can be considered as an attributes. To address, from address, matter, etc. That can be considered as in what? The message, whatever we are sending. So that is what? The to address, from address and the matter, whatever we are sending, those are all things. So now if it is attributes, then what is the activity of this communication channel? So we need to transfer that message from one system to another system. That is transformation. Transformation or transmitting. Okay. So next, so what will be the event? Arrival of that message to the destination. So arrival to destination. Then what is the system state? So the number of messages waiting in the inbox. So that is the number of messages in the inbox or in the waiting line to be delivered. So if the line is busy, then it has to wait. So that is two things we can consider. Okay. Next, inventory. Inventory system, if you consider the inventory system, so what will be the thing? So inventory system, if you consider warehouse, we can take the warehouse as a entity. So if you consider the warehouse, definitely the capacity will be considered as an capacity will be considered as an attribute, or the order, all those things, right? So here if you consider this warehouse as an entity, definitely what will be the action, that is activity. Activity will be what? So if you have a something in that warehouse, we can withdraw it, right? So withdrawing. So if you want to withdraw this, so the demand has to come, right? So that is the event. So the demand. Then what about the system state? The number of inventory that is present in the warehouse. Okay. Number of goods present in the warehouse. So what is the demand? So what is the order quantity we have, and then what is the remaining thing which is left out in the system? So this is what how we can identify the system's entity, attributes, activity, event, and system state. So if you are good enough to identify these things, it is easy to do the simulation or to study the system. Okay. And here we have types of system. So the types of system is, and if you talk about the system environment, we have two types of system, that is exogenous and endogenous. So if the activity and the events are performing within the system, then it is called as an exogenous. Otherwise, if it is affecting from the outside, then endogenous. Okay, endogenous system. So next we have two different types of system, that is, so important one, discrete system or continuous system. Okay. So here we have a discrete system or continuous system. Usually we are going to represent our system in terms of what? Entity, attributes, and the state of the variables, right? So here, if the state of the system is going to be changed continuously, then it is called as a continuous system. Okay. So say for example, the water level in the dam. So okay, water level in the dam, and if you draw the graph versus time against the water dam in the dam, so water level in the dam by that time, so it will affects from the various outside the system. So that is, so it will continuously vary. Why? Because it might be because of heavy rain, or it might be because of any fluctuation like overflow of the water, or else underflow of the water. Because of that reason, this will be continuously, the water level will be continuous one. So this is how we can represent our system. So that is, this is a continuous system, that is, the system variables are going to be changed. What? So continuously. Okay. So that is called as a continuous system. And what about the discrete system? So discrete system is nothing but the state of the variables are going to be changed at a discrete set of point. So discrete set of point in the sense, say for example in the banking system itself, if the any one customer enter into the system, by that time what happens, in one customer came into the system, one more has been added. So it is not continuous, right? Continuously customer won't be coming. So randomly some after time the customer may come into the system. So that's why this is the system state may change at a discrete point of set. So that is, if you draw the curve graph versus time against the number of customers at bank, what we can see, so at this point of time, so at some point of time, so some customers, the number of customers waiting in the queue might be the 10, okay. So at this point of time the number of customers might be the 20. So like this, at some point of time the number of customers might be again 10. So like this, so at discrete set of point, so the system state is going to be varied. So that is called as a discrete event simulation. So here we are going to study this discrete event simulation. Before that we need to study what is the model and what are the different types of models we have, so that we can perform the simulation. Of course here we are going to perform some of the basic operations like inventory management system, and then queuing system we are going to learn in this particular session, okay. In the first module we are going to learn only those kind of examples, simple examples, but here we are not going to learn any programming here, okay. So if you know these things, that is the components of system, and if you know how to identify those components of the system, it is very easy to do the simulation, okay. So simulation is nothing but what? Imitations. So imitations can be done by identifying the components of the system. If you identify properly, definitely you will get the better result, okay. So in the next coming session we will be discussing on the modeling and types of modeling and the steps for doing the simulation, okay. So let me end up this session. Thank you so much.